a scene that I always think of in Berserk. I've never watched Berserk, but I have seen this scene because I knew.
Maybe I can smell it. I don't know if everyone can smell it from a mile away, but I can always smell it from a mile away.
I feel like the time you got it made it terrible.
You meet interesting people, that's for sure. The first time I ever went out, I was waiting on my friend. He was like, hey, I won't be able to make it till like 6. And I was like, all right, that's fine. So when I first saw him, I thought it was him, right? So he comes into the restaurant, and I see the hostess take him out to my table, and I'm like, is that who I think it is? Not positive, though. And then I get over to the table, and it's my table. So I greet them, and as soon as I hear his voice, I know exactly who I'm dealing with. And, I'm a bit starstruck. I'm kind of, hands shaking, knees weak, arms are heavy, and all that good stuff. So, his wife orders a drink. I make her a nice fancy version of it. Same with him, and make sure his kids have tea the whole time, make sure everything's taken care of real well, because it's kind of like being starstruck. They say not to meet your heroes because they'll end up disappointing you, but every once in a while you meet your hero and they outshine your expectations. And I had an experience like that at work yesterday. So they go through their meal, I make sure everything is good, and at the end he goes to pay for the bill, and I check the name on the card just to make sure before I say anything, because I don't want to look like a fool.
No, never.
And it's him. So, I hand the card back. I, finish the transaction. I say, are you who I think you are? And he says, well, that's me, all right. So I tell him I'm a huge fan. I tell him that you guys are huge fans. I tell him that everyone in the podcast community is a huge fan.
Oh, no.
And, oh, yeah.
Jackson.
And I'm like, this is crazy. Can I get a picture with you? And he's like, absolutely. So I tell him one of my deepest regrets is that when I bought my car, I bought it in Texas. And he says, well, I'd always love to see you in a Kia. And on that day, I met Suzuki Joe.
Oh my gosh.
I can't.
He is a very nice guy. He's super awesome. He's like, if I would have known you were a fan, I would have brought a shirt. And I was like, oh my God,
he has shirts?
He has shirts. Like his store shirts. I'm sure like his employees wear them and stuff.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I met Suzuki Joe. He was at my table at work.
That's amazing.
I'm gonna send the picture in Discord. No, you definitely want to put this on the screen.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was one of those where like I felt so dumb for being like, hey man, I'm a big fan of your car commercials. And he was like, hey, this guy uses podcasts, and he says, he uses our commercials and stuff. And I was like, oh no, we don't actually use like the audio or anything like that. And he was like, wait, you can?
Oh my God, no, he didn't.
So, no, if you could, when I say you see you in a Kia earlier in the bit, also like this little sentence out, but if you could say, when I see you in a Kia, if you could make it his voice from like one of the ads, I don't know if that's too much to ask, but
I haven't been able to find any of his radio ads anywhere.
No. Okay, but we've been given permission. Obviously don't go stir crazy with it, but yeah. And it was not in writing anything, so I don't want to, like, also don't go overboard, because I don't want to get, like, I don't want him to be like, I didn't really mean that. But he did say it.
That's...
So yeah, I met Suzuki Joe.
That's so amazing,
/ Fiat
dude.
Joe / Mazda Joe / Superstore Joe / Kia Joe. Yeah. It was awesome.
I'm so happy.
So cool.
What a fucking blessing.
Yeah, it was really nice. And like I thought it was him because I've seen him on commercials, and then when I heard him, I was like, I've seen this guy on the radio before. And yeah, I took care of him and his family at the restaurant.
Oh my gosh.
It was a great day. It took a lot of strength for me to not immediately like tweet this out. Like I had to wait a full day so I could tell you guys on the podcast, because I didn't want you guys to know going into this who I had met.
No, definitely not. Oh my gosh. I
didn't tell him about Suzuki JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I wanted to, but I feel like it
would have shattered him.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit surreal to be like, hey, have you ever heard of this anime called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Of course not. Why would you have? By the way, as a moderately successful car dealer, you don't know about anime? Strange.
Right.
So, it's about a man named, they're all named JoJo for short, and they go on bizarre adventures. And we made a joke about Suzuki JoJo, and my friend Jeff has a Twitter account where they talk about Suzuki JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I didn't tell him that, because that's, it was weird enough telling him that we have a podcast and we talk about him as a local legend.
I'm just so happy.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like meeting him, and he's really nice. He's super sweet. His whole family is really great. Yeah, so it was nice meeting him. As strange as that is, like, man, if you could meet anybody in the world, who would it be? I'll tell you. I don't need to answer that question anymore. I already got the right answer.
I never would have ever considered the fact that there's a chance that I could meet this man in my life.
Yeah, it's incredibly possible. I mean, he literally owns a store you can go to.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's there pretty often.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now he knows about the podcast. I'll have to like tag him on Twitter or something just to let him know. But I was like, yeah, we're getting your name out to our fans who, don't even live locally, who live, further away. They know about the legends, the trials and tribulations of Suzuki Joe.
Oh my gosh. And he's Superstore Joe now. He's not even Suzuki Joe anymore.
He was Fiat Joe for a while too, as he's expanded his. He's got all sorts of stuff he's selling.
Mm-hmm.
Motorcycles,
Honestly.
Outdoor equipment. Yeah, it's weird that like he's had such a weird impact on our lives in the sense that like
We
not
all know
direct,
what it is.
but yeah, like we all like know the ads, and we've all seen like the change from like Suzuki Joe to Kia Joe to Fiat Joe as he's like expanded his inventory and his empire. I was like,
do you think
just,
anyone else has
listening to
ever
his
talked to
radio
him
ads.
and said that they were a fan? Like, how many people do you think
I mean,
have
I
actually
didn't
approached
ask
him
that.
about it?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't ask him that because that's kind of weird.
No,
Like, how
I
many
mean,
times
obviously
has
you
someone-
couldn't.
Yeah.
But
Probably not often, right?
I don't know, man.
He was pretty happy about it.
I would be. That's so cool.
Yeah, because he's just like a businessman. Like, he's just running his business. And to hear somebody be like, I'm a fan of yours, like you're a celebrity.
I mean,
He kind of is,
he kind of is. But I think no matter how big of a local celebrity you are, I don't think you ever anticipate someone actually approaching you.
And being like, I'm a big
If
fan.
you're,
Unless you're like a local musician or
local
something.
car celebrity, like
yeah,
I should
that's true.
clarify
If you're
that.
like, if I met like H. Jack Langer, the plumber, I
Mhm.
probably wouldn't lose it. Or Edgar Snyder or Associates, I probably wouldn't lose it.
Who even knows about the Associates, if we're
Yeah,
being
exactly.
real here?
And for the record, for everyone who's not from the greater Pittsburgh area, H. Jack Langer and Edgar Snyder Associates are local like law firms and plumbing companies, respectively, and they have ads all over. But they're only local. You wouldn't know about them even like if you cross the border. Now, if I met Tim Misney,
Oh my gosh.
I would be honored, but he would make me pay.
He would.
I would
That's the
give
one
him the
scary
check
thing
and then he
about
would just
Misney.
point at me. Like, no, Tim. It's like, I make him pay.
I mean, you
I've been
can't
seeing
even be
his
mad.
ads.
You knew it was coming.
Since I worked like over the border in Ohio, I've been seeing ads for like Misney's law firm. So I've been seeing like that. I'll make him pay, and he like points at the TV screen. I'm like, stop, dude. You're gonna
Isn't
get
it-
me.
Oh my gosh. I love Misney. I think he is the funniest freaking thing, while also being the scariest thing that I have encountered
yeah.
from Ohio.
Well, when I went to that Cavs game a while back, did I send you the picture of him on the side of the bus where he was pointing at like you from the
I
side
don't-
of the bus? He was like,
I don't think
"It
you
said
did.
Misney makes him pay." Yeah, he's all over like the Cleveland area.
Yeah, because
that part of Ohio.
when you went to the Cavs game,
Mhm.
I don't believe I had been aware of Misney at the time.
Okay. No, I think so because I went to the Cavs game in like February, late January, and I feel like you told the story about how like you went to the wedding. That's how you found out about Misney.
Okay, so maybe we found out like close to the same time, because that's
Yeah, 'cause
about
I
when
think
I
I
discovered
only
him.
noticed it because you had said something, but maybe it was too dark or something. I don't know. But yeah, I met Suzuki Joe. It was an honor, and I told him as such, and then we got a picture together.
That's amazing. I am glad that you got a picture. I find it really funny that he's not wearing a mask.
Well, he had just been eating. Like you can't really wear a mask when you're eating.
Oh, fair enough. I guess I hadn't quite thought of that. I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
cool. Our
Yeah,
hero
you
not
don't
wearing a
have to wear
mask.
masks in Ohio right now.
Alright.
They recommend it, but it's not required.
Fair enough.
Especially in restaurants, because like, what are you gonna do? Be like drinking a beer with the mask on?
Yeah.
Um,
That's what
You
yeah,
straws
cut
are
a hole,
for,
you
my
cut a hole
guy.
in the middle of it, and then
they
let
just
it
kind of like
open like a
they
beak.
just they just ask that the customers space themselves out, and that's pretty much it. Which makes sense. But yeah, because you can't really be inside a restaurant with a mask on. But speaking of outdoor superstores, I've been outside a lot lately.
Oh, nice.
I've been fishing.
Ooh, fishing.
Yeah, I don't know if I talked about that on the podcast or not. I may have.
I don't know
about how I
that you-
wanted.
I don't know
I
that
think
you
I
have
maybe
yet.
said like passingly that I wanted to, and
Yeah, I think that was about it.
I've been fishing the past week and a half.
Oh, nice.
It's been fun. I haven't caught anything at all, but I've been out.
Oh, that's
It's a
what
good time
counts,
just
right?
hanging out by the streams and casting a line and doing all the other classic fishing stuff. It's cool. You meet interesting people, that's for sure. The first time I ever went out, I was waiting on my friend. He was like, hey, I won't be able to make it till like 6, and I was like, all right, that's fine. So I was just kind of hanging out. It was like 4:30 when I got out on the creek,
Mhm.
and just casting, hanging out, listening to the sounds of nature. There was a heron that stopped across the bank from me, so that was awesome. Just got to watch like a great blue heron doing his thing.
That's freaking neat.
Yeah, I watched it eat a fish too, and I was like, come on, you couldn't Couldn't toss one my way too. He
Herons
was a
be
better
like
fisher.
that, I guess.
Herons do be like that. Very selfish. Yeah, I watched that for a while. It was cool. And then this guy came to me. He's like, hey. I was like, hey, what's up, man? He's like, I'm Dave. It's like, oh, what up, Dave? And Dave was like, basically was like, hey, you want to know my life story? Without saying that, he just kind of started telling me his life story. He's like, yeah, I found my roommate dead. And I was like, oh man, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear about that. He's like, yeah, I moved back after that. It's like, oh, that's crazy. And he's like, yeah, it was like last week.
What?
Jesus.
And I was like, man, that's awful. And you know, we talked for a little bit, and he was like, oh, by the way, I am incredibly high right now. And then he produced a very, very large bag of psychedelic mushrooms out of his book bag.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like, I don't know how many I was supposed to eat, but I ate a lot of them. And you can see the bag was like a third empty, and that's a lot because of the size of the bag. And I was like, well, man, you okay? And he's like, I think so. And he just kind of like tranced up, and it was a very weird experience.
I don't mean to call him out, but I am inclined to believe that he might not be doing well.
Oh, of course not. You know, he was very obviously through some really traumatic stuff, and we chatted for a little while. But it was a really weird time because I don't want to say I was in the middle of nowhere, but I was pretty far away from like any parking lots or anywhere you could like park your car, and I was just like at a fishing spot on the local creek, and he just like walked up, popped a squat. I was like, "You want a beer?" And I was like, "You know what? Sure." Yeah, it was a very interesting experience. Yeah, he told me a lot of stuff. Obviously, I'm not gonna tell you too much stuff, but the fact that he
like in his personal
found
life,
a dead body last week, and I was like, man,
yeah, he did just drop that right out there, didn't he?
Yeah, that was one of like the first things he said to me. I was like, that is crazy, and he didn't frame it like it was very recent. He was just like telling me like it happened, and that's why he like moved back from the city. And I was like, oh, you know, like that's terrible. I mean, how long you been back in town? He's like, about a week. It's like
It's horrible.
That's terrible, man. So that was my first person I ever met when I was fishing.
Wow.
That was my introduction, and I was like, oh,
guess I'm in.
He was nice though. It is weird. Like everyone you meet is like pretty chill.
I feel like if you're out fishing, you can't be like not chill, right?
Well, yeah, it's because you have like and not necessarily like chill, but like not like polite and like kind and like trusting. And I feel it's just because like you have an unspoken like bond of like
you're both out here fishing.
We're out here for the same reason, you know. So like you've kind of got like it's like you know, everyone is the same, and like, you know, it's about finding the similarities between people, and that's how it like brings us closer together. And when you have a similar hobby that is apparent because you're holding like a 7-foot tall pole and have like a cooler, everyone's like, okay, well, we clearly have something in common. I don't have to think about it or talk to you about it. I can just see it and tell it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what like immediately brings people who are fishing like not closer together, but to an understanding.
I was gonna say closer than two strangers usually will get in a much quicker time.
Like exactly. Someone will come up and like chat with you. Dave wasn't fishing, by the way.
Oh, okay. He was just kind of out there.
He was just there. Yeah. I was like, man, you're in the middle of the woods, high as a kite. And you know what, Dave? I'm just glad to spend some time with you. It was nice meeting him. Exchange numbers and stuff. Good guy.
I can't say that I don't respect him for like being out there, you know, like
he also was like, yo, you smoke tree? And I was like, Dave, I'm gonna have to pass on that one. Yeah, this guy, he had a bag full of goodies. I had a bag full of mushrooms and weed and beer. I was like, you know, the Holy Trinity, he's got them all.
Yeah, he was ready for a time. Whether that time was good or not.
He was having that time. Whether or not I was on board with him, he was having that time.
Mm-hmm.
Then my friend showed up, my friend Chad, and he also got to meet Dave. It was nice. The three of us just kind of hung out.
That's nice.
It was.
I mean, I know you just said it was nice, so obviously, yeah.
At one point, he caught a crawfish and was like, you want to use this as bait? And I was like, you know what? Why not, man? And then he, like, tore its exoskeleton off with his bare hands while it was still alive.
Oh.
And I was like, that's really graphic, man. That's not cool, dude. That's kind of aggressive. And I was like, oh, okay. Thanks for the bait, man.
Like, I get that's what some people do, but like...
Yeah, you know, you'd want to like kill it first. And I just use lures anyway because I don't want to skewer critters constantly.
Well, live bait is it's a whole time, you know?
Yeah, it's not. I don't want to say it's not for me. Like, I get it, and I don't have a huge problem with it. But like, I don't prefer it. I like catching fish though. I don't feel bad about killing fish because they literally can't feel pain.
I always thought that was a meme for the longest time. It's like, oh yeah, you know, fish can't feel pain. And I'm like,
I don't know
yes,
if it's all fish,
of course.
but it's because of the nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
Because they just don't really have one. When they were evolving, they were like, what if instead of like getting positive traits, we just laid like 800,000 eggs? And then the evolution line was like, yeah, it sounds good.
It's just min-maxing, dude.
It really is. It was like lazy min-maxing. Instead of being like, okay, guys, we need to breathe on air to scavenge for a wider variety of food and become amphibious. They're like, what if we just literally laid 800,000 eggs?
Are fish just Zerg?
You know?
I think so. I think fish base themselves off Zerg.
If fish hadn't gotten rid of their legs, they definitely would be.
I think one time a trout watched some StarCraft 2 professional and was like, holy shit, guys, you got to check this out. Look what we're about to do. And then they Zerg rushed, and that's what spawning is. They literally call it spawning too, so it's kind of like they ripped off video games. I can't believe it. Fish literally just like copied their homework off video games.
Wild.
It's wild. Who could have seen this coming?
Not me.
Bunch of hacks, really.
That's one of my favorite thing about like the concept of fish is they're just like, what if instead of being good, there's just a lot of us.
You know, sometimes it works.
It works.
You know,
it really
sometimes
does.
you really do get those fish that are out there and they're good enough to hold it up. But then, you know, other times they're just not.
Well, the thing is, like, they survive though because the amount that is, you know, doesn't cut it. There is still more that do because they laid 800,000 eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a This is gonna sound stupid. The fish that the Pokemon Alamomola is based off of.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of the real fish, but I know the Pokemon. It is something off the coast of Hawaii, like a sunfish, maybe. I don't know. Not a sunfish. I don't know. It's a big fish. And it's basically brain dead. It is so unintelligent. It literally floats around. It has minimal control over its direction. But it has continued to survive and in some cases thrive, even though it is a literal sitting duck. Because when it spawns, like when it lays eggs, it lays millions of eggs.
Oh my gosh.
That is its entire survival plan. That's the Ned's Declassified School survival guide of this fish. It's like, what if I just several million eggs? and it works. It's so dumb. It's just like cheating. It's cheating like the evolutionary chain. Instead of improving,
they physically can't eat all of us.
Yeah. You're like, well, we're fairly big and we don't need most of our body to live, so they can take bites out of us and we live. And if we just have millions of eggs, they can't possibly kill us all.
I love that. I respect that a lot.
It's so funny. Yeah, fish are strange. So that's what I've been up to. Fishing.
Good thing to be up to, in my opinion.
It's a good time.
Huh.
And there's a lot of actually like really good fishing areas around here. Like in the fall when the steelhead come in, this is like one of the best places in the world for it. Steelhead is I believe it's rainbow trout that made it out to sea, and then they come back into the lake system to spawn in the fall.
That sounds about right.
And for like the colder weather, yeah. And they call them steelhead just because of the way they look, but they get beefy because they're the ones who actually like made it out to the sea. And so when they come home, they're large boys. And yeah, this is a really good area for fishing them.
I've had a lot of people at work trying to tell me that I should get into fishing. They're like, oh, yeah, I think you'd really like it. And I'm just like, I really don't think I would, but I do appreciate the fact that you are trying to convince me.
It's a good time. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. You if you would like it, you probably know you'd like it. Like, if you think you'd like it, you'd probably like it. If you don't think you'd like it, you probably wouldn't. That's how a lot of things work.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really tell someone, oh, no, you would.
Yeah, because I know my issue with it is that I don't enjoy the time spent versus what I personally get out of it because I'm just that way.
I just like being outside.
Mm-hmm.
I can't handle being quiet and with nobody for that long with nothing to do but watch a bobber.
Yeah, usually you hang out with people. You don't have to use a bobber either. I usually just do lures like spinners and I just pull them back through the water. So you just kind of cast and bring it back in, and you cast and bring it back in. So there's like, as long as you're doing that, there's like action going on, so you have things that are happening.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Instead of just like sitting, it's a little bit more engaging. But also sometimes after you've been doing that for a while, you kind of want to just like put a bobber on and vibe.
I mean, you got options though. That's
It's true.
Nice.
And there's fly fishing. Fly fishing is sick as hell, and I would love to fly fish, but it literally is like 5 times as expensive.
Fair.
You're like, hey, if fly fishing seems cool, I think I'd like to do that. And they're like, all right, sick. How much money do you have? Because it's gonna be like $800 to start. And you're like, well, that's
Jesus.
How much money do you have? Oh, I don't know.
I'm like, how much would it be to
than
start
that.
rod fishing? And they're like, $40.
Yeah.
Like, sick.
Yeah.
$40 for a good setup, fairly, like, for a pretty good setup. Like, okay,
it's hard to not, when you got options.
Yeah, and like it's one of the things that I feel like if I get really into like rod fishing, I'll probably like pick up fly fishing later on once I know it's something that I'm fairly adept at, and I know like where to go and what to do.
Yeah,
and then, fly fishing is a lot less daunting.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you can just hire. There's so many charters and guides around here that you can basically just like rent someone to make you good at it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, one of the guys that comes by the shop, he runs a charter.
Yeah, running a charter would be cool. Like, I feel like working for a charter would be a lot of fun because I just like being on the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he says you end up making a lot of money with it because some days you'll go out there and, it'll be your, I don't know, $500 charter and people will max out in like,
2 hours.
2 hours tops. And sometimes they end up getting all mad about it. They're like, I paid you this much money. He's like, well, what do you want to do? We cleaned your fish like you paid for.
We filleted your fish.
Yeah, they clean them, they fillet them. They brought you to the fish. There's literally nothing else for you. Like you got what you paid for.
You did it.
Well, yeah, that's like the thing about like Lake Erie. Like if you get out on the lake and you hit a school of walleye, like you're gonna catch out in like 2 seconds. It's just a matter of finding that school and not scaring it off because they literally like school in the thousands. So you can just put your bait down, and as long as you have like a halfway decent bait for a walleye, you're gonna get a bite, and then bring it in, cast out again, you're gonna get a bite, and the max is pretty low depending on the time of year. And yeah, so I feel like you could definitely as a charter take potentially 2 trips out in the same day, maybe more, but that's stretching it a little bit.
Yeah, they don't usually plan around that. They it's more one of those like, check it out, you did your entire day's work in 2 hours. Good job.
Like they don't really like go back and like see if people are looking for charters.
It depends. Usually they're booked, so people don't they don't anticipate them being available. But it's not like they don't check.
Yeah, that'd be fun to work on a charter.
Could
I feel like it's
be
also
enjoyable.
like basically a weekend gig, and I don't really, unless you're a charter cat, then you really don't make that much off of it. And I feel like weekends are kind of important where I work and in the industry. So
just a little bit.
Maybe another time.
So have you guys checked out the new Terraria update? Not to like high key switch topics, but
I mean, Terraria has fishing. There you go.
Yeah, but if you fish in Terraria, you're a coward and a fool, and I hate you.
Ooh, that's a bold claim.
It's so every time I play Terraria multiplayer, there's someone who's just like, okay, I'm gonna go fish, and they sit there and fish for like 7 hours, and you're like, hey, we're about to like fight a boss, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna keep fishing, and then this is like every single time. It's always something different too. That's just like instead of playing the game and helping with anything, I'm just gonna fish and be like, hey, can I have some armor? You're like, no. They're like, well, come on, dude. I've got 12 angler quests done. Awesome.
See, I feel like
I'm not gonna back you on this take because I don't know. Fuck it, let them have fun the way they want to have fun.
Well, no. I'll agree with that for single
they have
player.
fun the way they want to have fun, and then they try and like sponge things off of you that they didn't do anything to help with.
That's fair. That's
They're
honestly
like, can I have like 70 bars of gold? And you're like, well, no.
That's honestly most of the reason that I don't enjoy playing Terraria. Is just
because people won't let you sponge off of them.
No, because I don't want to get stuff off of people, but I also just don't enjoy the grinding parts of Terraria. Like I don't mind the combat. The combat's fun, but I don't enjoy the bits in between the actual combat. I find it extremely boring to have to go mining and go hunting for like that one piece of gear that you don't have.
I enjoy that, but I like doing it solo. Some friends of mine and I were doing a multiplayer world, and I mean I tuned in 2 times. But I tuned in, hung out, did some stuff. I made Vegeta, but I called him Goku. It was,
Also, the biggest cop in Terraria is the person who's like, "Hey guys, check this out," and then like leaves the world and rejoins with like a post Plantera character and they're like, "Look at this," and you're like, "Oh wow, we get it. You just brought your strong character in. We all have those too, but we're not stupid and we're trying to like play the game."
Yeah,
I think that's
awesome job, dude.
I think it's okay if like you are like, oh, I got this cool thing last time I played. Let me show you. Like that's fine. But if you're doing it to like be like to flex on people,
they do it to
that's
flex
not,
because they think you haven't
super
done it.
sad.
Like, bro, I have 300 hours in the game. I have beaten the Moon Lord, countless times. It's not like you're flexing super hard by bringing in Shroomite armor, dude. Like, we're just starting a world together and playing in it. That's another one of the Terraria player archetypes. And you never know which one of your friends are going to be, and then all of a sudden one of your friends just like hits one of them, and you're like, wow, I never thought
you'd be the guy.
I don't mind when people fish as long as they also do other things.
Actually play the game.
Yeah.
Because I feel like fishing as a single player activity, that's fantastic. It is nice to have new single player things you can do in this game, right? Well,
fishing is
that's
old.
my opinion, at least.
Fishing is pretty old, yeah.
Well, whatever.
I'm so glad they nerfed fishing too, because fishing used to be like, when it first came out, it was basically the only way to do anything worthwhile. They were like, hey, do you want anything at all? Fish.
It has been a long time since I made a new character or world, so I actually didn't know fishing was a thing. Until this new update with the hardcore or the hardest core mode.
They nerfed it now, which is good because like it used to be the point where like the person who was fishing the whole time, instead of being like, hey, can I have gear? Was like, hey, I have the best gear in the game. And you're like, well, that's weird. We haven't beaten 2 bosses yet. And they're like, yeah, but I still got it because you can get it from fishing. Awesome, dude.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I literally wasn't that overpowered, but it was very overpowered. Like, you can get things that were as good as hard mode equipment in the very early game.
What the fuck is shark? The shark. Yeah, they nerfed the shit out of that shark, from what I hear.
Thank God.
Yeah,
it was the worst thing in the game by far.
I feel like the time you got it made it terrible. Like, I feel like if they had done something where, like, because there is so many ways to upgrade different items in that game, like over time, with like, you get stuff later.
You get the Reaver Shark immediately,
exactly.
And it was one of the best pickaxes, even in hard mode. Up to hard mode, it was the same as like the Molten. So you could just get that and then start farming Demonite, and then just like go through the Crimson or the Corruption. Yeah, that was pretty busted.
Yeah, agreed. I was talking to people the other day. Part of me really wants to start a new world and just play with like one other person, and like
2-player is honestly the most fun.
Like 2 people, because that way I can be like, well, I'm gonna log off for the night, and when I come back on tomorrow and have some free time, I'll do whatever. Oh, you're off for a couple of hours. Well, I'll see you in like 3 or 4 hours, and then we'll go fight this boss or whatever. You know, that kind of thing. I just the last couple times I've played the game, I've had such a bad experience, and it just hasn't been fun for me.
Yeah, it's also really hard to get resources when there's several people in a world.
That's true too. Unless you are doing a thing where literally everyone is sharing everything, and like you have like, oh, this person has spent the last 12 hours mining. But even then, to me, that like, oh, I spent the last 12 hours grinding for gear. Now everyone can just pick up their gear and we'll go fight this boss. Like, okay, so
yeah, that sucks.
I'm logging on
to be the person who mines it is the worst.
To be the person that mines it, and also I don't know. I hate being the guy that like hops on after that, because I'm like, well, I didn't do. It's literally like going creative mode in Minecraft, giving yourself diamond gear, and fucking then dropping back out of creative mode and trying to play the game. Like, you didn't work for that. you learned nothing from this. You cheated only yourself.
But there's also the novel concept of like, what if when they were spending 12 hours, what if you just spent like 30 minutes and did it yourself?
Exactly. Well, no, agreed.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of people don't want to do that though. They're like, no. Yeah. I'm gonna fight slimes and try and collect banners.
Yeah, no.
Like, it's great that you're playing the game you want to play, but it sucks that I have to play the game I don't really want to play for 4 times as long, so you can do nothing of importance. And then we can all play the game that we came here to play, you know? Single player works really well. And I think if you have like 2 people in a world, single player, like you can each have like a single player world as well, and just kind of like that way you have something to do when the server's not up.
I really like the idea of having something I've always wanted to try and thought might be kind of neat is doing something where you both are like working towards the same thing on your main world, and then you basically just keep the same character between the 2 and are only going back and forth to do fucking loot grinding and shit like that. Because that way you have what, like 3 or 4 different types of ore. You can either have the Corruption or the Crimson, and it's like there's just some stuff that's neat about both of them.
The thing, I really wish you could pick what ore you had.
I do too.
I wish you can pick Corruption or Crimson, but I wish you could pick like Gold or Platinum.
Copper or Tin, I think is the other 2.
Yeah, it's dumb that they have separate for each one. Like, just give me the same or give me a choice.
I don't know. I feel weird about it because I like it in theory, being able to have all these different things that you can go play with, having alternates, but
they're just
not
color swaps. Yeah, they're not
exactly.
There's no stat differences.
If there are stat differences, I definitely have a problem with it. But
yeah, there's no real stat difference. It's just a color change.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I'm a completionist kind of person. I'd be like, well, I can't get all this shit that requires, I want all this random gear from the other one. And it's like, well, go start a new world and go find it then. Good luck, have fun.
Yeah, it's annoying. I don't know. I like Terraria though.
I like it in theory and don't like it very much in practice. That's kind of been my experience with it.
I have one friend who thinks that Terraria is a Minecraft ripoff and thinks that it is objectively a bad game. And that is the most frustrating take that I've had to deal with for the past 9 years.
That's a bad take. Yeah.
Because the game's been out for 9 years. And he's like, this is just a Minecraft ripoff. I'm like, why is it a Minecraft ripoff? He's like, because you mine. Oh, yeah, you're right. There are ores in a video game. Wait till this guy finds out about the ores in Skyrim. Because boy, do I have some news for you.
Wait till he hears about Dwarf Fortress.
To be perfectly fair, at the early days of Terraria, like the early fucking days, before it came out of early access, it is fair to be like, well, there's a lot of similarities, and I think that they haven't really found their stride with this yet. But the problem is Terraria became an RPG like progression thing, whereas Minecraft is a go build your random bullshit thing.
I mean, I think Terraria basically from the get go was somewhat like boss centric, not really build. Like, it's never been a game about building.
That's true.
You can build, but the game itself is not about building.
Yeah, I would agree. That's fair.
So like the game itself is about fighting bosses and upgrading loot, whereas Minecraft is about building. And of course there is like a level of loot, but there's really no bosses. I mean, yeah, sure, there's the Ender Dragon, but that
unless you're playing modded, in which case that doesn't count. Like
then you're not really playing Minecraft, yeah.
Exactly.
Like, well, actually, Minecraft is Pokemon's a Minecraft ripoff because there's actually Pokemon in Minecraft if you're modding. Of course, yeah, sure, whatever. Mods are down. We've been over this. Play games. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Terraria is incredibly different than Minecraft. Just because it's so combat and like progression heavy.
Because like Minecraft, literally, like if you didn't know about the Ender Dragon, why would you? There would be no reason to believe there's a boss in the game, which is cool.
Yeah,
if you find out about it naturally the first time, and it's like, oh, I found this thing. It's a cool little adventure to go on, right? But Terraria is out here like, yeah, there's monsters, and then there's nighttime monsters. They're different. You can find them.
And they all have like health bars, and
every one of them has a health bar. You got a health bar too. Pretty tiny. By the way, did you see this weird eyeball that you can make? Wild, right? See what it does. Oh, you summoned a boss. Congratulations, you're an idiot. And it just like goes on from there, learning how to summon more and more bosses till you win. It's fantastic.
I really wish they would have put a boss in, and like the Eye of Cthulhu is like the first boss.
Yeah,
I really wish they would have just put like a game boss in called the Rest of Cthulhu. That was like Cthulhu with an eye patch.
That would have been really funny.
Isn't Cthulhu a later game boss?
No, the Moon Lord is kind of Cthulhu-esque, but it's not. It's like an alien, which technically Cthulhu is an alien too, but more of a great old one, deep one, all that stuff. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, I feel like it'd be funny to have it like just be like the Rest of Cthulhu and have him have an eye patch on.
And it's in line with like the rest of the game's sense of humor as well.
Oh yeah, there's just like so many stages to the game because there's like pre-hard mode, then there's hard mode, and then there's like post Plantera, and then there's that's pretty much it. Those are like the three big segments.
They have
each one of those.
They have the newest hard mode though. Master mode.
That's a whole new game mode.
Oh, that's another thing.
Oh, it's a whole new game.
Expert mode and master mode are cheeks. Like they didn't change anything except for like they basically doubled the health bar, changed some drop rates, and then doubled the defense.
That's literally changing things.
Yeah, but that's not a meaningful change. Nothing has like an augmented pattern or like a change.
There's no reward for it either, really. That's from what I remember.
You get like a unique loot, but it's just like the doubled health and doubled damage. Like you haven't made the game any different or better or made it more challenging. It's just Skyrim difficulty where you're like, more health means harder, right? And you're like, well, yeah, actually it does, yeah, but not a fun difficulty. It's not like changing difficulty in Hades, for example, where things will be like, hey, there's an alternate form of bosses. So instead of fighting the one Fury, you're now fighting all three of them at the same time, and they're tagging out. Like, that's awesome. That's a really, really awesome way to do difficulty, because it is a more difficult boss fight, but it's because there's new patterns and there's new things to explore and there's more damage being dealt, sure, and there's more health to be had. That's also true, but the fact that the patterns are different and the way the boss interacts with you is different makes the game more exciting. Not just being like, more health, more damage. This means game harder. Come on, dude. Make it more fun. That's my take.
That's a take. I don't know that I totally agree with you, but it would be nice if there were more variety in the bosses after the stuff rather than just fuck you.
Yeah, and it just becomes like a chore to do the late game bosses because it stops being like, oh, this is like exciting and fun, and starts being like, oh, this is going to be 10 minutes. So I think the normal game is not perfectly balanced, but really, really well balanced, because it's not too difficult even on like single player. It can be a little bit easy on multiplayer. But the thing about it being easier on multiplayer is you also have to put in way more time to get all the resources you need. And then the game progresses in difficulty with these like subsequent bosses, and you can continue going further and further. And you don't really hit a wall in the default game, which is nice.
Personal opinion, I feel like it's a lot less balanced when you have more people, though, because of the way they scale boss health so incredibly. Because if you even have one person that isn't outfitted enough to take the boss by themselves, then you're gonna have a bad time trying to beat the boss, you know?
Yeah, you can't have one player be like, oh, I'm way behind because I just didn't have time, or I just don't. Summoners early game are garbage. That's just a fact.
Nah, you just fight the B Lord. The B boss is super easy. That's the strat. You just like you get anything decent at all, and then you just run to the B-man.
Fair enough.
That's the if you want to make your strat effective.
I did hear they gave some new shit to early game summoner. Like you actually have options instead of just like one or two things now, which is cool. I should play it again. Bad. I should really play it again.
Yeah, it's not much better. Like the B boss is the biggest thing, but that's not even new. There's the imp staff is still pretty good, and like the hornet staff. But summoning is like the character I've been on my single player world is summoning, and it's rough. But there's a new hard mode armor that is basically you get to look like Anubis, which is sick as hell.
That is really cool.
And it's from fighting a mini boss in the desert. Very cool. So now I have that armor, and you can summon a tornado.
Tornadoes are fun.
I do like tornadoes.
I will say that's definitely my favorite thing about Terraria is the progression of different items, and like, oh, you randomly can combine these 7 items together into one single item. Yeah,
I just made the Ankh shield last night, which felt great.
What's the one that's
13 different things?
Jesus Christ! What's the one that does
it takes the most?
The one that's like is it just a GPS? The one that's like a compass and also
the cell phone is like the final one.
Whatever it is.
The PDA. That one's cool because you can get it and it combines so many functionalities. But it sucks because in order to get it, you have to do a whole bunch of fishing quests, and fishing is stupid in that game.
Fair.
Just go fishing in real life, idiots.
But I don't want to be outside. It's gross out there.
Why? No, it's not. It's nice out there.
It's cold today. Well, cold air quotes.
Must be nice. It was 83 today.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
No, it's been so bad, dude. I didn't want to have to install my AC in May.
Dude, I don't know. I'd rather be 83 than be under 60 degrees.
No.
All day. We've had this conversation on the air before.
55
every day,
degrees
all day, forever.
Year round. I would be so happy.
Have you heard of San Francisco before?
No, I was actually genuinely, I was planning on going out to LA for a week or two.
Dan, you would hate San Francisco.
Why?
It's cold year round.
Really?
Not cold, but it's like upper 50s, mid 60s.
I thought it was much warmer than that.
No, it's Northern California.
Fair.
LA is better. Yeah. Southern California.
I was planning on taking a trip out west, and then all this shit went down, so there goes that.
Why are you yelling? What are you yelling at? The stink bug? We'll get it.
Cats
Stop yelling at it. Yeah, you sure showed him. Yeah, good job. Sorry, my cat is just like screaming at the stink bug on the light in my room.
Jackson, you said totally
he's getting it.
To pivot,
he's going for it.
To pivot from Terraria, Jackson, you said you had a beer, you had a cider, a guava cider.
I already drank it. I drank it before we even started recording.
It sounded interesting. What was it?
It was Ace guava cider. It was real good. I like guavas. Probably my favorite fruit. You don't see too many of them up here, but the thing about guavas that I love is you can smell them from a mile away. Maybe I can smell them. I don't know if everyone can smell them from a mile away, but I can always smell them from a mile away. Mm-hmm. So like I walk into Walmart and I can tell if they have guavas or not if I walk in the produce section. It's very rare that they do because we live in northern Pennsylvania, and even though like produce is pretty good about shipping, I think they mostly just don't sell that well because whenever I see them, they're always on like clearance and they're kind of old. So I think they probably just don't sell very well around here.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah, when I was in Texas, I used to eat guavas all the time.
I don't think I've ever had a guava.
They're great. They're delicious.
Nice.
They're kind of like the problem with eating them. Like they're like the guava nectar, guava juice, and like guava flavored things are awesome. But when you eat an actual guava, it's got like a whole bunch of seeds inside, and they're totally edible. But like so, like the skin is pretty thick and waxy. It's edible as well. You don't peel them or anything. And there's like big seeds in it that are like crunchy. So eating a guava is not the best way to consume guava, unfortunately. Juicing them is way better. Like their nectar is awesome. It's a great flavor, but by themselves they lose a bit on the tasting end just because of the really hard seeds that are small and plentiful, and then the waxy, pretty thick skin. But they're so good. Great fruit. What's your guys' favorite fruit?
Pomegranate, I think.
I like pomegranate, but I don't like the time I have to put in to enjoy a pomegranate. You know,
don't be a coward. Eat all of it. Eat the entire thing.
I am not eating the white of a pomegranate. I do not.
The white of a
enjoy
pomegranate
it.
is totally edible.
I'm sure it is, much like the pith of an orange. It is edible, but I do not enjoy it. I'm not going to eat a pomegranate like an apple. Now I have.
No, don't eat the skin of a pomegranate. Skin of a pomegranate, bad. You got to chop that shit in half. But
I've seen people like cut it and have it be like, see, this is how you open up a pomegranate, and it looks super easy to do. However, pomegranate stains everything. And as much as I love it, I don't love it as much as I adore grapefruit.
Grapefruit is good. I haven't had a good grapefruit, in so long.
It's good. Good time.
It's just so good. I don't know.
Yeah, I really don't eat grapefruit too often, though. Grapefruit flavor is great, though. The grapefruit juice and stuff.
Grapefruit
I might actually get grapefruit.
I don't know if I want to call grapefruit juice my favorite over orange juice if we're going on citrus juice categories.
I think it is for me personally.
But I know. I really do think it is too.
Grapefruit juice and gin is a classic.
I've always been a huge cranberry juice person.
It's all right.
My problem with orange juice is that I've been burned by orange juice so many times where it's like, oh, it's no pulp, and then turns out there's pulp in it, and for texture reasons, I literally can't drink pulp. It makes me want to gag.
I've already been on this horse, and I don't want to make fun of you being a texture boy.
It's fine. I will take the being put on blast because I know what I'm about.
Texture boy. Yeah, that's all I got.
You got me.
I don't know. I like guava a lot. Pomegranate, I don't want to say I don't get it. Like, it's good, but I don't get the hype, and I don't like the price point either.
That's fair.
That's a biggie.
The process of eating it I find kind of fun. You just like tear into it and like pull out the insides and crunch on them. You know, it's very animalistic. It's kind of cool. Makes you feel like a monkey.
Yeah, you did it.
And sometimes I just want to go ape, you know?
Yeah, no, you did it. You nailed it.
I just remembered mangoes exist, and a
mangoes are
ripe
good.
mango is amazing. I have a lot of good memories of mangoes.
I'm just glad no one answered tomato because I would have stabbed them.
Oh my gosh, I hate.
It's a tomato.
Technically, since a tomato is a fruit, that makes ketchup a smoothie. No, shut up.
Sure, I guess.
It's like
the best is when people like say that and you're like, all right, and like you're like, wait, that's my talking point. You're not mad? I'm like, I don't care what you call ketchup. I'm not going to drink it like a smoothie. You can call it whatever you want. I don't care. I
don't understand what the point being made is supposed to be. Like, I get
the point being made is that they want you to react angrily.
I know, like, Dan loves to gaslight me with the ravioli argument.
Mm-hmm. Give me the formuoli.
That's just a good time all around where it's like, hey, I'm gonna gaslight you.
He's not gaslighting you, bitch. You're just crazy.
And he's like, look, see, I gaslight you, and you knew it was coming. Ha ha.
Is it gaslighting you if I'm right?
Yeah, he's not gaslighting you if you're crazy.
I'm not crazy. But we're not touching this. But like people who come in and they're like, actually, tomato is a fruit, so actually the characters on VeggieTales aren't even all vegetables. Ha. Like that was one that I heard a lot, you know. That's a more churchy specific one, but like
what about Madame Blueberry, you peahead? They never said they were all vegetables. It's just VeggieTales. The tales of veggies and her friends. Even if Bob the tomato is not a vegetable, he's still vibing out with Larry.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like I don't know. There's certain arguments that I get people want to make for fun, but then there's other ones that I just don't get it. And tomato is a fruit. People who are willing to die on the hill of tomato as a fruit, so treat it like a fruit, it's the weirdest group to me.
It's not like they care. It's just that they want you to be like, wow, you're so quirky and different. No, it's to Penguin of Doom holds up Spork. That's it. It's just to like get a reaction out of you for being off the wall.
I feel like it's also I want to prove how much smarter I am than you in any given situation kind of thing.
I'm technically right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Awesome, dude. It's like when it's like 12:30 a.m. and you're like, oh man, you know, what are we doing tomorrow? They're like, so you mean like Wednesday? You're like, oh, you got me, because it's technically past midnight, so it is, you know, the next day right now. Mm-hmm. Wow. But still, we're going to be doing things later today, and if you keep saying things like that, we're not going to be doing things. In fact, if someone were to say that to me, I would just be like, never mind, I cancel our plans for today.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like it pisses me off so much when people are like, actually, it's past midnight, so it's the next day. Like, sure, but in terms of like our consciousness and our day isn't over yet. We're still vibing. We're still partying. We're having a good time.
The only time that is okay is in the context of I am under the age of, let's say 14 and at a sleepover, and then it's okay to make that joke. But after that point, you're just being obnoxious.
Yeah, as if you do that as an adult. If you do that as a kid, it's more like well, guys, it's Tuesday right now. And everyone's like, whoa,
my God, yeah.
But if you're doing it to like try and be like, gotcha, in a semantic loop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, I understand the concept of midnight, but I also understand the concept socially of having a day. And the two things don't need to coincide holistically. You're semantic point doesn't need to be correct because society exists outside of semantics for a reason. And the whole idea of semantics is hated by everyone for a reason. Because you suck. Put down the sport, the penguin of doom. It's over for you. Yeah, that just makes me mad. Are you gonna get the stink bug? Oh. Good job. Oh. You're gonna smell terrible. You just straight up eviscerated that man. Holy cow. He's down there. I can't just like whack the stink bug out of the air. Now you're gonna smell bad because you killed the stink bug. Rookie mistake. This is my excitement.
This is what you're living for.
Sounds like some good excitement. Oh, yo, before we wrap this episode, because we are getting close to the end, I feel like I do need to mention I have finished season 2 of Avatar. I actually
you did
almost finished season 3. I think we're like 4 episodes away, but we weren't going to end. It was either we could eat dinner before the podcast or
finish up before the podcast.
Almost finish season 3. And it was like, I would rather eat dinner.
That's fair.
I think the thing about Avatar that I'm realizing is I thought it was like incredibly popular. And I think it was, but like everyone's like, no, I've never seen it. Like I have like six or so friends that are like, oh yeah, I'm watching Avatar for the first time. Like,
see,
wait, really?
I remember.
I just thought it was like huge. I thought everyone watched it.
I remember being at my grandparents' when it was brand new coming out live, and I never watched it because I watched a half of an episode. I realized it was a greater story type of show.
Yeah.
And it did not work for like what I was after because I was there to watch Fairly Odd Parents and SpongeBob and Jimmy Neutron before that got canned.
Fair choice.
Like those are my shows of choice. And then every now and then Avatar came on and I'm like, I'm not paying attention to this show. And because I only had like, 3 days a month that I had access to cable. We didn't have cable. We just had like movies. So it was only when I was visiting one of the grandparents. And when it came down to it, it's just like, I wasn't ready to commit to that. And then it was on Netflix and everyone's like, oh my gosh, you need to watch Avatar. And I'm like, this wasn't part of my childhood. I don't give a crap.
And now you're with somebody who was part of their childhood and they can drag you kicking and screaming into the fandom.
Even better, actually. I didn't have the I don't watch anime excuse that I could fall back on anymore, even though Avatar is a sketchy example of anime at best, since it's
animated. It's whatever.
See,
that's another semantic thing. It's not technically anime, it's Western. Okay, cool, dude.
But yeah.
If you don't like anime, it's not like someone's going to be like, oh, I'm sorry. When I said I didn't like anime, I meant that I actually don't like anime, but I really don't have any problem with Western animation. So yeah, I'll totally watch this show. When people say they don't like anime, they generally mean they're not going to like that either. And if you're going to bring up that point, that's why people hate anime fans, because you suck. Stop doing that. Well, actually, Castlevania was animated in the West, so it's not really an anime. So in the technicality of the terms, you'd probably like it a lot, right? Yeah, no, you're wrong, dude. I was going to say I don't like anime, but then you said, wait, this was made in America? That means... well, it's not technically anime, so even though they're pretty similar and share a lot of elements that people can point out, I like this.
Have I talked about on the podcast the other day that I think I've started to realize why I'm not a fan of anime?
I don't think you have quite narrowed it down. I know you have given reasons, but they've been like broad reasons such as I hate the stories, and it's like, but you like things that have similar stories. Please explain.
Okay, so no, that's where I'm starting to land on.
Next,
I don't have like a but I like this, but it's okay. No, I just think that there are pieces of Asian storytelling that I'm not a fan of, and I don't really have great examples for it beyond I can tell the difference, and it's part of the reason that I'm not a huge fan of like generally Korean and Japanese films either, and Chinese films either, and I'm not sure what it is.
Even The Great Wall with Matt Damon.
No, don't think I am. Haven't seen it. Haven't seen it though, so I can't say for certain.
I actually don't know.
I don't think anyone has. I think that was the problem. Well, sorry, no one in the West saw it.
I don't know that it was popular anywhere. I feel like it just was a very unpopular movie.
Fair. And
maybe somewhere saw it. Maybe it went well in China. I don't know.
I don't think it's not like a language thing, because I've definitely watched enough movies that require subtitles that like that doesn't bother me. And so I have to think the only thing that makes sense to me at this point is that there's differing storytelling elements that are more common in the West, and there are others that are more common in anime storytelling. And I that's the only thing I can think is that's my like actual problem with it. That, or I mean, obviously the other answer is that I'm super racist. So, take your pick. But
well, I think I know what it is.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Yeah, I like Asian storytelling for the most part. I mean, I've talked before about how I like the author Haruki Murakami, who has like his works are really well read in Japan, and as a result, but a good bit of like slice of life / drama type of anime draw inspiration from his work. So a lot of like modern anime, you actually can see the influences like Murakami's books in them, which is fun. I mean, I feel like the same goes over here. We have some big names that have influenced literature, which in turn has influenced the way that we tell stories in modern media, like pictures and moving ones. Yeah, I don't know. I also like anime because mech.
No, fair.
Well,
fair.
There you go.
And also the way that like I've never like very rarely, unless you're watching like a Netflix anime, do you like watch it and be like, wow, this looks like it doesn't belong with the rest of the show I've been watching. Because a lot of times, and not in terms of like storytelling, but in terms of like art style and direction. Because sometimes even with modern movies with CG, you look at something, you're like, oh my god, this hurts my brain because it looks so terrible.
Avatar does that. Sorry, go
Last
on.
Airbender?
Yeah, it does. All of the mechanical, like not all the ships, but all the like.
They're 3D
and
modeled.
shit.
There's a
All the
lot of
tanks
3D
and, like,
modeled stuff.
That is a major thing in like what Western media is like the absolute love for like computer generated things, and the inability to understand that sometimes you shouldn't mix them. Sometimes you can, and sometimes you can get away with it. Like I know Princess Mononoke was like the first thing that mixed CGI and hand drawn art style, but it also did it in a way where like and not to be too on the nose, but in the Princess Mononoke, all of like the demons and demonic influences are CGI.
Well, and I think it's the same. I think it's the same with Avatar. I think they pulled that like straight up. I think because it's always Fire Nation machines, like war machines, are always or almost always 3D modeled, and I think it's a very intentional. Like this is wrong, this is different.
But wrong and different for the purpose of making you pointing out to you that even in universe it's also wrong and different. That makes sense as an art decision. That works. But I'm talking about when they'll just be like a scene where like they're like, hey, all of a sudden everything's 3D animated.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I'm trying to find. There's a scene that I always think of in Berserk. I've never watched Berserk, but I have seen this scene because I knew a lot of people complained about it.
You got to say Berserk 2016.
I don't.
Otherwise, you're gonna make people sad, probably.
No, it was. So it's something that people do to you mix the styles because it's actually a lot cheaper to do 3D models than to hand animate.
Yeah.
So when you have a lot of things, people will tend to 3D model them if they're a little bit lower budget. And there were these skeleton wheels in Berserk or something. There were these big spiky wheels, and they were hideous 3D models on the backdrop of an otherwise really nice looking show. I do think it's Berserk 2016.
The one that everyone hates and is terrible.
Oh boy. Yep. This is it.
Yeah, that's the one with the image of like Guts walking away, where instead of like animating it, they just took the model and they literally just like bob it up and down and like cut off the image so you can't see the legs.
Actually, no, this isn't it. But this looks awful as well.
It looks like papercraft. It's so bad. That whole show is a mess for several reasons.
No, so all these guys are actually modeled and everything. What I'm talking about was like hand animation with these death wheels in the background. It was one of the older ones then.
Okay.
But yeah, man, that's rough.
Yeah, and I just know that the remake kind of Berserk was terrible and really, really poorly received. I didn't watch it because it looked terrible, and I saw excerpts of it, and I was like, well, that sucks. But yeah, it's almost like comically poorly done at points. Just because they switched so much to 3D, and like 3D animated, it just doesn't look as good in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look good. It makes everything look like a video game, like, because it's high quality enough to be a cutscene from a video game, but you're not meant to watch that forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it doesn't look that good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, Avatar season 2 though.
Just looks really good.
Just to hit that real quick. Iroh's story made me real sad. I didn't cry, but like when I learned that not only like Iroh's backstory, but that his voice actor died during recording.
No, not literally during recording. I don't think.
No, not like mid-line.
Yeah, I was
but
gonna say,
like
not like at the booth.
He died before season 3 was done.
Yeah, but not.
And they were
like sitting in the room.
Yeah, he wasn't sitting in a recording booth, but he did die before he finished the show. And the fact that they had an episode in season 2, while they still had him acting up through some of season 3, like the fact that they had him an episode where they got to highlight
him before season 3.
Did they?
It wasn't like it wasn't necessarily like.
They got a new voice actor for season 3.
Yeah, he was because he died.
Oh, I thought I was misinformed then.
It's fine. It's fine. But yes, no, it's still very heartfelt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very, very sad. Very, very interesting. Like how that followed up. His like protege is the one that like took on his voice going forward. But yeah, no, it's that's rough. Tales of Bossing Say is rough.
You can tell it's different because of the way he says Zuko. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, But yeah, no, I really, really, really have enjoyed the show thus far. The big twist at the end of season 2 where freaking Azula comes in, and I don't think
fucks everything up.
I was gonna say, I don't think it's bad for me to spoil a 15-year-old show, right?
No, you're fine. Go for it.
Well, everyone's watching it right now, actually, for like the first time.
Yeah,
so
good
spoilers
point.
for Avatar going forward. Go ahead and keep talking.
Yeah, because like a surprising amount of people are watching it for the first time.
I won't spoil details because I don't think I spoiled details for season 1 either. But the fact that Azula comes in and has messed up so much stuff,
she's great.
I adore that. Azula is a good villain, and while I'm loving the fact that Zuko gets a redemption arc over the course of the series, I am also really liking that they're not giving her a redemption arc. That makes me happy.
Even in the comics, they keep giving her options to try and do better, and every time she's just like, "No, I am a monster."
I respect the fact that it's a kids show that has objective bad guys.
Mm-hmm. I also like when a tweet I saw recently, which was just like, "Hey, your attraction to aggressive women started when you picked Azula over Katara." I was like, "Yeah, and."
But Ty Lee though,
she's the acrobat, right?
Yeah, she is.
She's great. She's great.
I was talking to Michelle about it the other day that I had completely forgotten until I started rewatching it. That God, she did it for me as a kid. Like her and May both were just phenomenal, and I completely forgot about that until I rewatched it
as a kid. Azula's definitely best girl.
Fair
in terms of like if you like destruction of property and fascism, but make it fashion.
Fashionism. Wait, no.
Yeah, I mean, also it's literally like a cartoon show, so it's not like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It handles for a show that can't outright show people dying because it is made for young children. It handles that type of stuff surprisingly well.
Actually, no. What about in the 3rd season when Sokka gets his brain taken out of his head in the 1st episode by a bear with a mechanical arm?
Okay, there are so many like gags. Also rewatching
Zuko's dad.
There's a line in season 2 where he's like, "Oh, we're gonna see this bear." And they like list off all these other. You mean a platypus bear? No, you mean like a scorpion bear? No, just a bear. This city's fucking weird, and it's.
I love that.
That's so good.
That was their first clue that Bossing Say was off. Was the fact that he had just a regular bear,
a regular ass bear.
Man.
It's a good show.
It's a good show. It is worth watching.
I also like that they're just like
Netflix.
Every animal is mixed, and they're just like they don't call it anything different. They're just like, yes, this is the platypus bear.
Yeah,
like, what's a platypus? What's a bear?
I love
what
that
do you mean?
so much. I was just thinking about that the other day. I'm like, so wait a minute. All these things, like especially after they had the "you mean a platypus bear" conversation, I'm just like, well, how do they know what's what? How do they know the difference?
Exactly. They know the base for bear and they know the base for platypus, but there also is a species that is both, and that's more common than either of the bases.
Yeah, yeah. It's V good. All the animal designs in that show are so phenomenal, top to bottom, beginning to end. Every single one is great.
Appa's the best animal. If you pick Momo over Appa, you're a pea brain.
Appa is objectively the best. That's not a hot take.
Because you just say yip, yip, you know?
And he just goes, man.
I feel like people that pick Momo like him because he is a more energetic, fun companion in like the first 6
Yeah, but no one
episodes
goes
he's in.
Momo yip yip.
Yeah, and Momo can't do anything right.
Appa has a character arc, dude.
Appa had a whole episode devoted to his character arc.
Yeah.
Momo
that
could never.
episode's rough.
Yeah, I actually really hated that.
Yeah.
Bitch Boy Aang was my least favorite part of that show so far. It's like, I get it.
He goes
You're
up and
sad,
down.
and I get it. It makes sense because you're a child, and it makes sense for you to be sad because this is a special thing. However,
well, to be fair, imagine you're 12 and you wake up and they're like, hey, you know everyone you ever know? Yeah, they were murdered. Like, just straight up slaughtered. And it's probably because you left. Also, you do have to save the world.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, every one of your family and friends was murdered in cold blood because you left them.
It's a little bit 110% your fault.
And, well, I think that's a stretch, saying
it was like,
his fault.
what a bitch. What an idiot. 12-year-old kid.
Well,
got his
that's
having emotions.
That's my issue, is that, like, that is one of the things that, in my opinion, is how the show doesn't age well as you get older. Because
people are sad?
Yeah, no, it can't handle sadness. No one out here with this toxic masculinity. We don't allow toxic masculinity.
That is not what I'm saying. I am saying he is also unwilling to talk to anyone about it. But not
he's
like
12.
no, but not like for one episode. It's like for 7 episodes, and then suddenly a baby is born, and he's like, "Oh, I understand why I was wrong. Do forgive me."
No out here.
And it's like
no one ever had a phase where he just had to like shove that shit down and deal with it on his own time.
But that I am not on a TV show, and I am not the Avatar who is the
Master of all 4 elements.
Master of all 4 elements and the freaking guardian of the spirit realm who's supposed to be like have his shit together. I get he's a kid. I do get that. I understand. However,
also, how come they know that if you die in Avatar form, all the avatars stop forever? How do they know that, right?
Yeah, that's a good question too.
Like, did one of the avatars just be like, "Hey, guess what probably happens"? What if like they just like killed like Aang in Avatar form, and then like there was still another avatar born because they're like, "Yeah, no, we didn't know that for sure," because
we just kind of assumed because it hadn't happened yet.
Yeah, someone just kind of said that a couple hundred years ago, and we just were like, "Yeah, it sounds right." I don't know.
God, I gotta rewatch Korra now, unfortunately, because I'm a huge fan of Korra. A lot of people didn't like it, but I'm still a huge fan of it, and I think it did a lot of really fun things. And like, there's some really, really cool, like, oh, let's talk about like how the Avatar actually works shit that goes on in Korra, and it's amazing.
Yeah, Nina does not like Korra at all.
Really?
And yeah. I don't want to speak for her, so I would say you should definitely talk to her about what her issues with the show is.
I'm going to, because that's fascinating to me.
Because everything that she has mentioned as a problem has made me be like, oh, yeah, no, I like the show as is, and I don't think I'm going to watch Korra.
I understand that.
Korra's not like, it's not the same show.
No, not at all.
It's
the same universe, but not the same show at all.
Yeah. It's like Star Trek The Next Generation.
Mm-hmm.
True, but Star Trek The Next Generation has the decency to be like a gradual tech climb. And Nina's primary complaint is the tech climb from Avatar to Korra is huge.
Wasn't it like 100 years?
Yeah, but you see, Nina doesn't understand how time works.
Huge.
It is huge.
No, have you ever heard of something called the Industrial Revolution?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
what
happens.
That tech climb was?
They also retcon a bunch of like of the spiritual stuff of the show
and
make things a little bit different.
I'm not disagreeing. I just don't remember it.
I don't know. As someone who hasn't seen it,
no,
I'm not about to try and
I really
continue
want to
holding a stance on this show.
I really want to talk to her about it because I think I'm surprised that she doesn't enjoy it, and so now I can't say that I think you would enjoy it, kind of thing. If that makes sense. Like I would have expected her to enjoy it, and then also expected you to enjoy it, and the fact that she doesn't means that maybe you won't, which is weird to me.
I think she is a much bigger fan of Avatar than I am, though, which means I probably still could enjoy this show, but I also am not going to make a priority of watching it over MasterChef, for example, which I am.
And also, like, part of the reason that you're able to watch this now is because you're watching it with somebody else. Like, that makes it a lot easier to actually sit through.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I mean, I would be watching it if I was not watching it with her. I would still probably be watching it because
you could now.
My walls of anime's bad because it's bad have been broken down, so I am willing to experience more stuff.
Fair.
Speaking of anime is bad, Demon Slayer's done. Like the manga's over.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Question
It's
mark?
alright. I don't know. The whole thing was kind of sucked, but it was just good enough to be like worth reading.
Mm-hmm.
And manga's just quick enough to read that it never really bothered me too much. But yeah, I don't know. Most of the characters just never really got any better or changed at all. And you're just kind of like, wow, what can you do?
Yeah, fair
That's
enough.
my review. 4 out of 10. Still looks good though. Very pretty.
That's what counts a lot of the time. All right, well,
very predictable. Bad characters.
mhm.
Looks good.
Well, looks like
Looks
like it's time for us to wrap up, though. Looking at the looking at the time, looking at the length. So
looking at the message from Dan in Discord.
yeah, that's one too.
I was.
Looking
I
at
said.
Dan
I
loading
said.
up
I
Rising
said I was
Storm 2
hoping to be
Vietnam.
done. Peek behind the curtain. I said I hope to be done at 9:00. It is now 9:50. So I gotta go.
It has been an hour, so I respect it. Thank you for sticking around as long as you could.
Oh yeah, such a sacrifice. God, I hated it. How could you? Oh, one thing I just real quick wanted to get through, and because Down East put out their pineapple cider, and it's really good. There, good, got through that. Done.
Down East
Robert
pineapple
Jr.
cider. I do like
It's
their
called,
ciders.
It's called Aloha Friday. It's real solid. It
That
doesn't have like a.
Accidentally drank pineapple juice the other day, and I have mouth ulcers.
Ouch.
Yeah, no, that's my biggest problem with pineapple juice. Anyway, no, get us the fuck out of here. Bail, abort.
Bail and abort. You can find us. This is the last episode for May. We are closing in on the 2-year anniversary and the 100 episodes. Those will be 2 separate events because they're 3 or 4 weeks apart, but that's okay. Life happens sometimes. If you like the podcast and you'd like to support us in any way, you can follow us on Twitter at The Off the Air. You can follow us on Facebook at OTA Podcast, or you can follow us on Patreon at Just Off the Air. Patreon, that's the easiest way that you can, support us monetarily. Obviously we have audibletrial.com/off the air if you want to get like a free Audible book and stuff like that. We obviously are sponsored through that, but if you want to help us consistently and get access to a little bit of bonus content, a really easy way to do that is to pop in with, even just $1 a month right now unlocks bonus stuff. So that's at Off the Air. If you'd like to support us not monetarily, tell your friends. Let people know that we are a podcast that exists, and go to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review and say something nice about us.
Or something mean about us, honestly. If you put a 5-star review and still say something mean, we will still read it.
It's true. We will still read it. Even if you don't listen on Apple Podcasts, the review helps us amazingly. Just having like the reviews in there bumps us up in their analytics. They push us out to more people, and maybe they'll finally file us into a category that doesn't have the Joe Rogan Experience as the first recommendation. It's Joe Rogan, Barstool Sports, and what do you call The Office Ladies with Jenna Fisher and Angela Kingsley.
Sure.
So that's our first 3. I'd rather not be associated with some of those. So
I'm good to not be associated with anyone ever.
that's fair enough. So yeah, you can hit up Off the Air on that. You can find me as Bubba the Bad, BUBBADABAD, on pretty much anything you need to find me on. Twitch, Twitter, Insta, and something else, I'm sure. Dan, where can we find you?
Twitter.com/BornToRule57, Twitch.tv/BornToRule, where I'm actually about to go stream some Rising Storm 2 for Memorial Day. Not that anyone, by this time, I mean, obviously no one will see that, but still.
There we go. Jackson, you want to drop anything today?
Whatever.
Thanks for listening, guys. Catch you next time.